A twin flame is the other side of your being. The allegory in Genesis says that Eve was taken from the rib of Adam. That is a description of this spiritual process in the heart of God. What this means is that uniquely there is an electronic blueprint and a white fire core, and out of that blueprint there are two beings, one carrying the minus charge of it, one carrying the plus. No two beings have ever been created aside from these two having that identical electronic blueprint. This is why the Beloved is absolutely unique. When we descended through the great spheres of the causal body, these twin causal bodies, we journeyed through them and we went through the concentric spheres of light, and each of these color bands represents another vibration and another plane of heaven, which corresponds to the 7 chakras in your temple. As we develop the chakras, we draw forth the light of that sphere. As we give energy to that sphere in good words and good works, we have treasure built in heaven, and we draw upon it, and we can develop a momentum of light and power and creative action in that particular corresponding chakra. You and your twin flame journeying through those spheres in the beginning actually made a free will decision as to which one of those 7 spheres you would amplify, serve upon, accelerate in, and therefore when you went out into the matter universe, give that as a gift on the altar of the evolutions that you would be serving. If we had never left the planes of perfection, we should have embodied for 14,000 years, 7 times. 1 body for each 2,000-year cycle. We should have fulfilled the manifestation of our great causal body in the matter universe, endowed the matter cosmos with our spirit consciousness, and ascended back to the plane of spirit, individually in God. This world of spirit is teeming with life and activity. It is not some kind of a misty nirvana. It is a plane of cosmic being and consciousness. Twin flames are destined, once they complete their evolution, to hold the flame of the Father, Mother, God for systems of worlds, for planetary homes, for stars and cycles. In fact, all that we see of the matter cosmos that is in manifestation is endowed and sponsored by twin flames who have gone before us, who long ago reached the attainment of full God realization, have built upon it, some who never went out and descended into the knowledge of good and evil in a relative sense. So those of you who are here are seekers, and many of you have found a great deal. I think there's one thing we share in common. We are awake, as Gautama Buddha answered when someone said to him, "Who are you?" He said, "I am awake." You are awake to the fact that you don't necessarily want to spend eternity on this physical earth, that you are not exactly totally comfortable on this physical earth and the conditions that prevail upon it, that you believe that within your being is the power of God to work change on this planet, and that you are determined to unlock the fire as Prometheus unbound that sacred fire, and to direct it into personal and planetary conditions, to leave your mark of service to the world evolution, because you know you have a date with destiny and with your twin flame and with God that transcends this plane. So far, nobody gets off of this planet alive. But there is a path of the ascension whereby when we do lay down our physical bodies, we reunite with that white fire core of being, and there is an acceleration of the light because we have called it forth and because we have served and balanced our karma. The end of Pisces and the beginning of Aquarius is a time of ultimate spiritual freedom, when the octaves of light are opened, the retreats of the Great White Brotherhood are opened, of the Lords of the 7 Rays. This is a time when we can fulfill our reason for being on the path of the ascension. These are the teachings that the Ascended Masters bring, which I have written down. They are the lost teachings of Jesus and the prophecy of Saint Germain. Here you see you and your twin flame going forth. although the polarity of the causal bodies is uniquely, again, a plus and minus sphere because it is always in the balance of the yin and yang, or alpha and omega. For the purposes of holding the balance of the Father, Mother, God, they assume a masculine or feminine connotation. Going out in these lifetimes, we do switch. Sometimes one twin flame is the male, the other is the female, and then the reverse is the case. Now, we were destined to be the divine lovers forever, but when we came into the dense spheres, not knowing right and wrong, what happened to us is we started making karma. We got entangled through the great glamour and the sophistication of the fallen angels. We got into other relationships, or we made karma with people of a negative nature whereby we were required to serve that individual. And as one combination begets another and one set of karma creates another, we find ourselves geometrically farther and farther apart from the twin flame, until the quest for the divine self is almost equaled, and in some cases greater, in the quest for the beloved, the other half of the divine whole. The sense of incompleteness in this octave makes many people extremely miserable and alone. It is not only because of separation from the twin flame, but because we have to know ourselves as only a part of the whole, to retain that humility, to realize that we have a profound need for God to come into our temple, call him what you will, the deity, the light, the universal presence. And we also have a need for the other half of ourselves. Now, if we were gods complete unto ourselves, we could become the proud and the fallen ones also, because there are none so proud or egotistical as those who think they do not need the help of others or of a friend or of God and so forth. So this meditation we're about to embark upon is the meditation of the soul. The soul resides in your body in the seat of the soul chakra. It's the chakra between the navel, the solar plexus, and the base of the spine. That happens to be the chakra of the seventh ray and the seventh age of Aquarius. It is a violet chakra. And so because it is the age of Aquarius, that chakra is the one that has the quickening and the heightened sensitivity. So the soul, as the psyche in all of us, is coming alive, coming to the full awakening of who we have ever been, what we are now, and what we must do to fulfill our destiny. The meditation I'm going to give with you was dictated by the Ascended Master El Morya many years ago to my late husband Mark Prophet, who is also my beloved twin flame. He began this movement called by El Morya to found it in Washington, D.C. in 1958. At the same time that I was preparing, knowing I had a mission to bring forth the lost teachings of Jesus and to serve Saint Germain, I came upon him after making calls to the universe, to God, to send Saint Germain to me in Boston, where I was a student at Boston University in 1961. Mark Prophet then was a messenger of the Great White Brotherhood and of the Ascended Masters. He wrote down a book from beloved El Morya, who's the Master M, who also participated in founding Theosophy with K.H. and Dwal Kul. El Morya dictated a book called The Sacred Adventure, which is on the will of God, and he is the Lord of the first ray, and he initiates us in the use of the throat chakra, which is the power center. The first ray is the ray of government and the economy, of statesmen, of administrators, and those who are comfortable in wielding power. El Morya has got to be your beloved friend as he is ours. You surely have known him, whether in his embodiment as St. Thomas More or Becket or Arthur, King of the Britons, or Abraham. He is that friend and figure to whom all of us relate.